Have you ever wanted to float above the battlefield, raining void explosions down on the enemies, all while laughing as they try and ultimately fail to shoot you down? If you said yes, then this is the build for you. Not only do we have constant heals, grenades, and a whopping 100% damage bonus, but we also just explode everything. I took this build into a Nightfall, not a Grandmaster Nightfall. I want to be perfectly clear. This is not a GM build. But if you're looking for a build for the new Horde mode or any other activities in the game, I would strongly encourage that you try this one out. It is a ton of fun. Before we get into the video, I just wanted to mention the official D2 Nova Discord is live. That's right, we're going to be doing all sorts of GM runs, Catalyst runs, exotic help, and more, all live on both Twitch and YouTube. So if you need help to get something like the Wicked Implement, let's say, go ahead and hit that link in the description. We've already helped 3 members get the weapon and 5 more get the Catalyst. So again, if you want to join, any help with stuff like that, the link is in the description. And now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So first things first, for this build, we are on Void Walker. We've got the Nova Bomb Super with Cataclysm, Healing Rift, Burst Glide, Pocket Singularity, and Scatter Grenade. Scatter Grenade will be a huge part of this build, so make sure that you have this one equipped, and you'll see why in a little bit. For our aspects, we want Feed the Void, which is going to give us Devour on Void ability defeats, so our Scatter Grenades, Pocket Singularities, and even our Child of the Old Gods, which is our second one. For our first aspect, we have Feed the Void, which allows defeats with a Void ability to activate Devour. With Feed the Void, we also get pre-nerf Devour, so we get full health and a lot of grenade energy. For our second aspect, we have Child of the Old Gods, which allows us to cast our Rift and create a Void Soul. When we damage a target with a weapon, our Void Soul flies towards them and drains them, doing damage and weakening them. Also, because we are running Healing Rift, we are granted additional grenade and melee energy when our target is being drained by the Child of the Old Gods' Void Soul. And defeating a target who is drained by your Void Soul will grant you class ability energy back. For our first fragment, we have Echo of Instability, which allows defeats with grenades to grant us volatile rounds to our Void weapons. To make it easier to get defeats with grenades, we will run Echo of Undermining, which will weaken targets with our grenades. To generate even more orbs, we've got Echo of Harvest, which will allow defeating weakened targets to create an Orb of Power and a Void Breach. And since we're running Echo of Undermining, every time we throw a grenade, we'll be weakening the target. And finally, we have Echo of Starvation, which allows us to pick up a Void Breach or an Orb of Power to grant us Devour. As I stated before, Devour gives you full health on this subclass, and also increases our grenade energy gains and extends Devour even more. Now let's talk weapons. So first off, I'm running Tusk of the Boar. You don't really need to. You can just kind of run whatever special ammo weapon you want. I'd recommend running a special ammo. If you really insist on running a primary, by all means, go ahead. So for our exotic weapon of choice, we've got the Manticore, which is absolutely crazy after the rework. So just a little breakdown on how the weapon works. Hits while on the ground will grant 1% of the anti-grav repulsor's buff, and kills while on the ground will give you 10% of that buff. After being airborne with this weapon and dealing damage after a half of a second in the air, it will activate the anti-grav repulsor's buff, and you will start seeing all of the benefits of this weapon. Those include the Swooping Talons buff, which allows dealing damage while airborne to deal increased damage with the Manticore weapon. This is a 10% buff with a 0.6 second cooldown, up to 100% increased damage. But where it really gets crazy is the Catalyst, because while you are airborne, sustained damage and final blows with this weapon to difficult combatants, meaning any orange bar or above, will grant a Void Overshield, reduce combatant accuracy, and return ammo to the magazine. Now, after some testing with this, we found out you can pretty much stay in the air infinitely, and because these are both on a cooldown, meaning the returning the ammo and the damage buff, tapping the trigger is actually the best way to maximize your damage in the air. Please consider subscribing if you didn't know that. As I kind of glossed over already, we get the Void Overshield and the reduced combatant accuracy when dealing damage to these orange bar combatants. Now keep that in mind, that's a very important part of this build. You're always going to be wanting to shoot the orange bar enemies as much as possible with this build to maximize that benefit. For our heavy, I'd recommend any Void heavy machine gun. I'm rocking Retrofit Escapade because it's just really good, but anything that you have that you like better, feel free to slap that on as well. The artifact mods are really not all that important. I'd say maybe just the strand ones if you are running Tusk of the Boar, just to make sure that you're getting that benefit of unraveling rounds and threadlings. And now on to our exotic armor of choice, the Nothing Manacles. So the Scatter Charge exotic perk states you gain an additional scatter grenade charge, and it enables tracking for scatter grenade projectiles. So the big thing is that we get not one, but 2 grenade charges with our scatter grenades, and this is a big deal for the build. Because as I stated before, all of our aspects and fragments are going to be geared towards getting grenade kills and proccing volatile rounds. And with Devour, we're going to be getting a lot of grenade energy back. So as you can see now, everything's starting to come together, and we've got the Nothing Manacles and Manticore. But let me show you the armor mods we're working with, and then we'll hop into a Nightfall to show off the build. So on the helmet, I am rocking Harmonic Siphon and 2 copies of Ashes to Assets. This will help keep our super up as much as possible, and also give us a lot of orbs so we can keep Devour procced. On our gloves, we're going to go ahead and rock 1 copy of Grenade Kickstart, 1 copy of Firepower, and I like 1 copy of Fastball, but absolutely not necessary. For our chest piece, we just have 2 copies of Charged Up and 1 Resist mod. Honestly, put whatever you want instead of the Resist mod. Absolutely not necessary. On our boots, we have 2 Void Weapon Surges and 1 copy of Stacks on Stacks. Now I know what you're thinking. 2 of these blue ones that cause a countdown with decay on the armor charge, and 1 of these yellow mods, which is going to consume armor charges. And you might be thinking, those will kind of cause problems with each other, but I can assure you, we're going to be having so many orbs and so many armor charges that it won't be a problem. On the legs, we're going with 2 copies of Bomber and 1 copy of Time Dilation to keep our Void Weapon Surges up as long as possible. And as you can see in regards to stats, we are going to prioritize Resilience and Discipline. Feel free to use Recovery as a bit of a dump stat, because we're not going to be using our Rift all that much. So with all that out of the way, let's hop into a Nightfall and show off the build. We're going to go ahead and charge up our anti-gravs here. And we'll run in, hit a nade kill, and we just get volatile rounds going. Since we're shooting our orange bar, we're going to get that ammo returned. We got volatile, so we can deal with this champion barrier super easily. And our scatter nades just kind of nuke them. Once we get Devour 2 with Feed the Void, we're getting our health back, we're getting more nade energy. And then on the mods, I definitely focused with some Void Weapon Surges and Bomber on the legs to make sure we keep our grenade ability up as much as possible. Always use your Rift for that Feed the Void. Or, sorry, Child of the Old Gods. Completely missed there, nobody saw that. As much as you can keep volatile up, obviously, it's super nice to be able to deal with orange bars like this where you just kind of never reload. You can also kind of tap the trigger, since it's based on damage dealt and not... Alright. This is based on damage dealt and not time spent in the air. It'll actually allow you to kind of infinitely stay up there until your anti-grav repulsors run out. Yeah, I'm just getting back to full right there. I mean, bottom left, you can see them. Keep on refilling the mag and never really have to worry about a reload. that volatile up. Cook the barrier with it. Even hip fire, didn't matter. I ran out of volatile. And then you can always swap to special. I ran with the new grenade launcher with chain reaction. Now make sure you're using your special ammo, because obviously we're primarily using Manticore, so we'll have plenty of ammo to go around. Tap the trigger here. Get that Void Overshield up. And then for big groups of ads, just don't mess like I just did. Hit them with chain reaction. Spread around those unraveling rounds, threadlings. Just kinda fun, nuking everything. Get that heavy out, need it. Get your super back pretty quickly. We've got 2 copies of Ashes to Assets on the helmet. As long as you're getting grenade kills, you'll get a good chunk of super energy. And since your catalyst gives you decreased acquisition, you don't really get to see it there, but it does make it a whole lot easier to avoid getting shot in the air. Obviously, you could also opt to run what's Starvation, I believe, is the one that gives you Devour when you pick it up. Pick up an orb, that is. But something like this, I don't really feel like you really need it all that much, but that one's kind of just personal preference. But again, for anyone joining just now, these are the aspects and fragments I'm running, so as you can see, really geared towards getting that grenade energy, not grenade energy, but getting grenade kills and cracking volatile rounds so we can float around and just melt everything. How did what? Did anybody else just see that? Yeah, did anybody? Am I the only one who saw that? Since I have Manticore, he just kind of misses me when I'm in the air. Def saw him under the map. Dude, I swear, like, I'm going a little crazy, but, you know, I don't think I'm quite that. Are you the only one? I think you are. I mean, not that it really matters, but, I could put one on. I guess I'm not really using my GL all that much, even though I definitely should be. Nade off. Didn't quite kill him. That's alright. I tap the trigger on this wizard. Get our volatile rounds up. Everything go boom. Ah, damn it. No volatile procced. I definitely could improve on this probably by slapping on some guaranteed stuns. But where's the fun in that? That volatile going. So yeah, I mean, I think maybe I ought to swap it out and get that guaranteed orb pickup for Devour, just because that'll play so much into keeping my grenade energy full. So I think I'll make that swap. So instead of persistence, I'm gonna swap it out for Privation. That'll let us keep our grenade energy up max at all times. After this one, I think we'll possibly hop into a little coil run. Test it out in there for a little bit more ramping difficulty. Definitely looking forward to Horde mode too, with being able to test builds in there. I think that'll probably be my go-to going forward once next week rolls around. Having that ability to just test out endless hordes, or not endless, but tons of adds, bosses, ramping difficulty. I feel like a better version of Coil, I think, and also better rewards. Nade down there. Volatile going off. And every kill, I believe, every kill you get is 10% the charge for anti-gravs, and every hit you get is 1%. On the boss, or any orange bar, and just keep on hitting them with Manticore and getting ammo refunded, plus an overshield, plus everything misses you. But I believe that's only on bosses for the overshield, or all those benefits are only when you shoot orange bars and above. Keep that in mind. Ow. Pressure nade. That volatile off on him. Maybe hit a little super. Boom. Get some more volatile going. Heavy for damage. Oh. Alright, well, bye guys. Get a nade over there to get our volatile going. And nuke the boss. So we'll weaken on him. Retrofit. Super. Boom. Oops. No. Finished the wrong guy. Yeah, I think definitely a lot better with Starvation on. Just to keep that, like I said, keep that grenade energy up. Make a lot of orbs with it too. Alright. I think I'm gonna hop into a coil run here. I may mess around with some other stuff too. I did toy with Controverse. The problem with that is every time you try to go in the air and use a nade, you gotta kind of hold the button down to get the most effect out of it with the right build, so kind of takes you out of the air and is a pain to use. I did toy around with the idea of using Astrocyte versus Blink. Oh god, it was terrible. I mean, call me a Blink hater, but I'm a Blink hater. Can't do it. Also definitely like that the rework they did with Manticore, because being floating in the air sucked when you didn't want to be. So actually being able to control that is a nice change. Manticore was virtually unusable before because of it, and the reasons. Mostly just the fact that it kind of sucked. Now it doesn't, and I'm a fan of that. Keep on forgetting to use. This is my problem with like what builds that don't like prioritize using special ammo guns. I just kind of forget that I have it. You know, like I've used this GL like what 3 or 4 times maybe. I feel like we have so many orbs all the time. There might be something else I could use them for. Maybe throw on like a ability kickstart or something for grenades. Grenade kickstart, I mean. Just because I feel like I'm not getting the most out of all these armor charges just because I have so many. But maybe I'll regret doing that. I guess we'll find out. And then pop out Retrofit for the damage. Do a little cooking. health back. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I just kind of didn't realize. Still locked in. Get him dead before he... I will probably have to do one more. It's fine. My problem with RDMs in a damage phase is I always end up shooting somebody on the back of the head. Maybe it's a skill issue. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Probably is. I mean, wouldn't be too surprised. I do suck at this game, as good by the fact I almost died multiple times here. But, I don't think in this case. One thing I also need to start doing more that I don't do nearly enough is swapping to go out of the fly mode. Just boom. Instead of hitting the special reload. I honestly like that better. I don't know why. I guess just you don't want to, or you don't have a one that you really want to use for ad clear as a heavy. But something I like. And there you have it. There's the build. I hope you all enjoyed this new build video model. Let me know what you think in the comments. But with that, my name is D2Nova. Thank you for watching and have an amazing rest of the day. Peace.